Hello, everyone. It is an awesome, gorgeous day. And today we're talking about the subject, Not Everyone Will Like You. And before I introduce myself and my awesome guest, I'm just going to make sure that we are live and all the technology is working and the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. And let me make sure that everything is good to go. Here we go. So there's a couple of things I have to do here. Okay. And so I think we are now live.
Yep.
Let me just check a few things here. Yes, we are live. Hello, 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 everyone. Come and say hello and welcome to us. My name is Fatima Omar Kamisa. I am CEO of Platinum Publishing and Million Stars Academy, where we help women be seen and heard through coach certification and publishing. And today I'm honored to have an awesome, awesome woman with me, all the way from Cape Town. Yay, technology. Shiam Moose is here, our director of sales. Shiam, say something. Great to have you here.
Yes, I'm always excited. I always love doing this, and I'm always blown away by how technology really brings us close from across the world. So I am very honored to be here as well, and I really, really love this topic. So I know this conversation is going to be a great one.
It is, it is. So come online as you are joining us, wherever you are. Come say hello. Tell us where you are. Tell us what are you doing on this glorious day? What's the weather like where you are in Toronto? It's actually a surprisingly unprecedented, unusually warm day of 20 degrees,
Wow.
when usually by the end of October, it's actually snowing here.
Oh,
So
wow.
global warming is real. What is it
Yeah.
like here in Cape Town, Shiam?
It's actually very hot. Yesterday we had, in the 30 degrees. Today it's slightly cooler, but still you can feel the heat. So our warm days, I think, is finally breaking through because we in spring right now, going into summer. So we're definitely feeling it. And if this is any indication how the rest of the months are going to be, then yeah, it's going to be hot.
It's going to be hot, hot, hot.
It's going to be hot.
I love it. I love it. I love it. That's great. Janine is in Switzerland, and she's going to let us know what the weather is like there. So our topic today is not everyone will like you. So Shiam, I'm actually going to hand it to you because you chose this topic.
Yes.
Right? It's something that you chose. And I want to know, like, what was it about this topic that spoke to you?
I think this topic is very important to me because it's something that was really crippling me in life for such a long time. Throughout my career, and I think always I just needed to be liked by everyone. And I think it just got worse when I started working because now there were so many other influences around and so many other expectations of everybody and what they expect from you, that this was really something that was a serious, serious problem for me, in the working career, in the working world at least. And that is why it's something that's extremely close to my heart because I know the struggles I went through, and how this crippled me in life, that I feel it's very important that we talk about it because I'm sure that there are other women going through this exact same thing at the moment as well.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
It's so true. I speak to women all the time.
Yeah.
They have the need to be needed, the need to be
Yes.
liked, the need to be appreciated, just all of that, which is actually quite dysfunctional. So what
Yeah.
I want to do now is I actually want to play a little game.
Okay.
Okay. And basically the game is what are the signs of people pleasing?
Oh
Okay.
my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are the signs? So we can play a game. And I know that, this is something that, and if you're watching right now, you're live, or even if you're on the replay watching this video of ours that we're doing, go ahead and put down what signs of people pleasing do you know? It can be something you've done. It can be something you've seen in other people. Maybe other people around you have tendencies to people please. So let's just look and see what are
Yeah.
some of the signs. Go ahead, Shiam. You go first, and then we'll just figure this out together.
I've actually got quite a few already that I
Oh,
just came to my head. And the first sign is you are unable to say no.
hmm,
And
hmm.
this for me, especially at the beginning, with starting out working, was my biggest problem because I wanted to please everybody. So if they told me, asked me, can you do this? Yes, I can do this. I was the first one to volunteer for everything, even if it was outside of this work, the description of what I needed to do. This was the main thing and the first thing that I can think of is the biggest problem.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go and talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Okay? And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put it up here so everyone can see it. Hard to say no, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So let's put that in there so everyone can see it, and then you can just see what is this thing that we're talking about. So it's hard to say no. And let's just
Yes.
stay with this one right here. When it's hard to say no, what are the impacts of every time someone comes to me? And I know that for my own self,
Mm.
I was such a doormat, a people pleaser, and I wanted to, I wanted my parents to love me and appreciate
Yes.
me. And so I thought that's what good girls did. They just said yes to everything. Okay.
That's
So
right.
yeah, so here we go. We're growing up, we're little, and then we become, primary school, then high school. And so now we're saying yes to everything.
Yeah.
And anyone wants to do something, pick me, teacher, that I can be the teacher's pet, right?
Yes, absolutely.
You're laughing because
Abs-
you've done it.
it's the truth. It's real. It's really something that I can relate to completely, completely.
Yeah. And then I got married and is it any surprise that this people pleasing doormat girl got married to a bipolar narcissistic man? Is it any surprise looking back?
No, no,
Right?
no.
It's
Yeah.
not a surprise at all. I mean, if you look back and say, okay, what happened along the way? What kind of training did you get? Who were you
Yeah.
being? It's automatic that a people pleasing doormat would attract a narcissist because here we
Yeah.
are, we've got our antennas up going, who wants to boss me around? Who wants to bully me? I'll say yes to everything.
Oh my gosh, that's so true. That's really true. It's sad that you're setting yourself up from a young age already. You're being programmed into you don't even see the signs growing up that this is the pattern you're creating until you get to that moment where you either listening to something like this and it just hits you. They are describing who I really am. So it's really really sad.
Exactly, exactly. So I'm putting on a new banner here. People pleases attract narcissists. That's an
Yeah,
impact.
it
That's
is.
an
It really
impact.
is.
So we're not doing it consciously,
Yes.
but our way of being and our programming, that's all we know. And it doesn't mean your parents were bad. It just means that that is your programming, and if you were looking at it like a radio, our radios are tuned to that station,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
if you tune into that station, that's what you're going to
Yes.
hear.
Yes, and I'm just thinking, Fatima, I come from such a huge family. I'm the baby of the family, so you kind of grow up seeing the mistakes the other siblings make, and so what you grow up as the baby, I grew up trying to avoid all those mistakes, and by trying to be, I would almost say this goody two shoes and people's pleaser too, because I wanted to make my parents happy, and I didn't want to make the same mistakes they did, and I think that is where that programming comes from. I watched how other people were reacting to certain situations, and I wanted to be the one that makes everything right.
Yeah. So let's take it a little bit further. Let's talk about people pleasing in your business.
Yeah.
So if we're attracting narcissists in our life, what do you think people pleaser business women are attracting?
Well, same thing.
Narcissistic clients,
The same thing. Absolutely.
right? And so we want to say yes to our clients. And so, what do you think the impact is on a business owner or a coach or an author or a speaker who is attracting narcissistic people around them, narcissistic event planner,
Yeah.
narcissistic clients, narcissistic? What do you think the impact is of that?
The impact is burnout, Fatima, because you are so, you're doing everything you can to just make this client happy, and you going out of your integrity, you giving up your own power, so that person really becomes in charge and you following their direction instead of being the one who's setting the direction. So
Exactly.
definitely burnout, it's not something that's healthy to have that kind of approach to business.
Yeah, you want to just keep on giving your clients more and more and
Absolutely.
more. So yeah, integrity is lost. It doesn't work. You don't show up well. You're burning out because we didn't create boundaries around
Yes.
us because as a people pleaser businesswoman, you just want to roll down, lie down, be a rug and let
Yes.
everyone walk all over you,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah.
there's a
And
huge impact.
absolutely. And you're not being true to the client, because you're not being truthful to the client and really being that coach that that client really needs, because you are just going to say yes, you're right, or that's right. You don't want to sort of correct them or really be too harsh on them, because you feel if you're going to be too harsh, they're not going to like you. So you're just going to go what you're going to say what they want to hear to keep them happy
Yeah,
all
and
the time.
how do you create transformation like that?
Exactly. You don't you're just by enabling that person even more.
Exactly. Exactly. Okay. What's next on your list?
So the next one is you actually give up your power when you are people's pleaser.
Mm,
You're giving up your power completely, because now you're not being true to yourself, and you are, just taking on whatever roles other people want you to play.
yeah. Yeah.
So which is, and I relate to all of these. I've gone through all of this, which is why this is so important to me, because I know I've went through this transformation. I went through the struggles, and I was stuck in there myself. So I know that there's another person who is going through this as well. And
I
yeah, it's
remember I
terrible.
remember having this conversation early on in my marriage, and it was a very simple thing. Like my husband says, "Well, let's go to the movies tonight." And I'm
Mm,
so afraid to express the movie I want to go to just in case he doesn't like my choice,
yeah,
just in case he makes fun of my choice, just in case we choose my movie and then it's a flop or he
yeah,
doesn't like it. All of these conversations are going through my head, right? Don't say anything. You're going to be laughed at. You're going to be wronged. He's going to make
yeah.
fun of you. What if it's a bad movie? Oh my God. And this whole thing is going on. And then what's my answer? What do you want to see?
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
And that
Yeah,
actually created the foundation for my entire marriage.
yeah, yeah,
I and basically what I had done was say, I don't have power, I don't have opinion, and we're just going to do things your way,
yes. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
right?
It's such a deep effect if you're looking at it. I mean, it sounds like something that's so simple when you're saying it, but if you look at the impact really of this, then it's so deep and it's so crippling that it's really something that you wanna really, really go deep into and look into to see what am I doing?
Yeah.
Or question yourself, what am I doing?
Okay, let's go down the list. What's next on your list?
Um, your constant need of approval, which ties into giving up your power, because
Yep.
you want to do everything to please everybody, and you almost don't have an original idea anymore, because and everything that I'm talking about here is some things that I've experienced. So you sometimes have a brilliant idea, but you're too afraid to say something. So you keep quiet and you just wait for the next person to come up with something, and then you just fall in line with whatever it is they're saying. And a lot of times when I was in situations like this, Fatima, they ended up saying the exact same thought that I had, but because I was so scared to, to say something wrong or to be looked and everybody laughed at or whatever, that I would keep quiet and just wait for the other person, and then they would say the exact same thing, and I would be so mad at myself because, it could have been me that was giving that idea, but because I needed everybody's approval, I didn't want to disappoint anybody. I just kept quiet and I allowed
Yeah.
other people to take that.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, what's next on your list?
Okay, the next one is you don't express yourself freely. Because you obviously wanting to please everybody, you don't want to sort of be on the bad side with everybody, so you keep your opinions to yourself, you keep your feelings to yourself, and you just go with the flow, as they say, and yeah, you keep everything in and just
Yeah,
accept
because
everything.
because if you express yourself, you might rock the boat. If you express
Absolutely.
yourself, you might have a different opinion from another person that you created this fear around that person, right?
Yeah,
If you express
absolutely.
yourself, then you're going to be too loud. You're going to be this, you're going to be labeled. All of these judgments are going to come
Yeah,
down on you.
yeah.
So better you just
Keep quiet.
dim your
Yep.
light,
Yeah.
sit in the corner, be pretty. I remember my former husband telling me one time I had a little bit of courage to say something really small, and he just turned his face and he just looked at me and said, "I didn't marry you for your opinion. I
Oh,
married
wow.
you for your beauty.
Mm.
So sit there, shut up, and just be beautiful."
Wow.
So I got
Yeah.
put in my place very, very quickly. And and then the moment I heard that, I did that for years. I
Yes.
did that for years because now I was too afraid to say anything, too afraid. I
Yeah.
also know that another impact of not being fully self-expressed and not expressing myself was I had a throat infection every 6 weeks for 21
Wow.
years.
Yeah.
Just imagine, think about that. A throat infection every 6 weeks for 21 years.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay? Because I had taken his words and made them mine.
Yes. Wow.
Okay?
Yeah.
I was now abusing myself,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
And when I left that marriage and I was on the run and recreating my life, it's been now over 11 years. I have never had a throat infection since that
Wow.
time.
Wow. Yeah, no, it's awesome. And the transformation that you, if you really realize this, and the sad part is that your health is the first thing that suffers. The same for me, that constant catering to everybody's needs. I suffered from migraines, and I constantly had, there was always something wrong with me, no matter what it was, but there was always something wrong with me, and I would just push it aside because I needed to be there for everybody. And so that wasn't my own health, didn't didn't
I like
become a
the last
regret.
sentence you just said. I needed to be there for everybody. Like,
Yes.
who made that need up?
I don't know.
You did,
Yeah, I did. Yes, I did.
right?
I created that. Yeah.
We create that because
Yes.
we actually think that we are going to be loved, we are going to be
Yes.
appreciated if
Yes.
we do this, if we push ourselves and become a martyr and kill ourselves for our family. They're going to love us, they're going to appreciate us,
Yeah.
they're going to, somebody is going to say thank you. And does it
Yes.
ever come?
No, no, it doesn't. So that's why you in this constant loop, because you waiting for that. That is what you need to hear from people. Thank you, or that acknowledgement, because that's your fuel to go on, and that's why you're in that constant loop all the time.
Yeah, yeah. Sadia is asking a question here. How long does it take, and what is required to heal from this fully and irreversibly?
Wow.
I would say the answer to that is you can heal from this instantly.
Yeah.
It requires an intention. and
Yeah.
that you say, I'm never going back there, and then you create a new future. Done,
Absolutely.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Also, it may require you to change your environment because we are the average of the five people we spend the most amount of time with. Let me tell you,
Absolutely.
if four of your friends are overweight, you're going to be the fifth one overweight. Okay? If four of your friends are winos, you are going to be the fifth wino. If four
Okay.
of your friends love personal development, you will be the fifth to love personal development. If
Yeah.
four of your friends are investing in real estate and becoming millionaires, you will be the fifth that will invest in real estate and become millionaire. That's
Yeah.
just how it works. So your
Absolutely.
environment is what is creating your today and your present and your tomorrows.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. That's really true. And for me, being in that corporate space I was in for 25 years, I always went, through the same thing, wanting that need of approval, wanting that thank you. And when I eventually decided, okay, something needs to happen, and I got out of that, I saw that for the first time, and I was so greedy to get more of that, Fatima, and that's what keeps me going every single day now. Is I don't want to go back to that, to feeling that way. I don't want to go back to where I just say yes and please everybody, and I lose myself all over again. I've come too far, and that means so much to me that I would give anything to not have to go back to being that person again.
Yeah. Yeah. I've got one to add to the list.
Okay.
So, people pleasing and wanting to be liked and needing to be liked. Here's one I want you to think about. You feel responsible for other people's feelings.
Absolutely.
Okay? You actually think you're a superhero and you are responsible for how other people are feeling. Your husband, your client, your child, the government, the guy at the grocery store, your mom, your in laws. You actually
Yeah.
think you are responsible for how, and you feel like you are responsible for their bad behavior,
Yes.
right? And because I'll tell you where this comes from. This comes from your childhood. So in your
Yes.
childhood, when your mom or your dad or your grandma or someone around you was upset, they said to you something like this: stop screaming, you're giving me a headache.
Yeah. Yes.
Stop doing this.
Yes.
You are creating this in me. So
Yeah.
your parent or your teacher or someone that raised you or someone when you were a child blamed you for their bad behavior. They blamed
Yes.
you for how they were feeling. And we took that on as children, and now you're a grown woman, you're a businesswoman, you're a CEO, you're an author. Is everyone okay there, Shia?
Yeah. So
This is what happens when we're
you
alive.
know, family, right?
That's it. That's what we do here. Family first.
Family first. Right?
And so let's go back to being responsible for other people's
Yes.
feelings. So you grow up now, and now you are a CEO, businesswoman, you run your business, you might be an executive in a corporate situation. And when things go bad, you believe you are responsible for that person's feeling, or your husband, or your child, or your mother.
Yeah.
So tell me about that in your life, Shiam.
Yeah, absolutely. I think exactly like you said. You don't even realize that. I just actually put that together when you said that. When somebody said keep quiet, you're giving me a headache. How that really impacts, those words really impacts and stays with you, even though you at that moment you might brush it off. But it really stays with you, and it really creates that way you feel responsible for being that person who makes everything right for everybody. And I certainly grew up with that way, like I said, being the baby, seeing things that were going on with this big family of mine, I was trying to avoid these mistakes and trying to make up for everybody else. I felt responsible to keeping my parents happy because I was seeing the effects, and it's a heavy burden to bear, and it's definitely something that you is going to stay with you, and it's going to be a long a while for you to really shake that. So I completely agree with that, and it's really just a light bulb moment for me now, putting that together and thinking, wow, this is how far down the line this really comes from. So I totally agree with that.
Yeah, so let's take that a step further. If I am a business owner and I have this amazing business I'm creating online or offline, and I am responsible for other people's feelings, how is that going to show up in my business?
Yeah, it's going to be chaotic. It's going to be chaotic, and you're going to take on that same strain that you've always taken on. You're going to take on, and it's not going to really get the results. You're not going to be true to your client and to yourself, being that way, because you're not going to be able to help. It's just going to be that constant cycle. They're going to sit in the ways. You're going to take on all of that and feel that you're responsible for that, when that is definitely not what being in the coaching business is all about.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. A coach is someone that creates an environment that's safe so your client can have transformation.
Yes.
You deliver the service.
Yes.
You charge a premium fee for your service and you show up fully. Your clients are responsible for doing the work, and sometimes it gets messy. Now,
Yes.
if you as a coach are coming from a place of people pleasing and being responsible all the time, your clients, you're doing a disservice for your clients because they
Absolutely.
will not get the results that they paid you
Absolutely.
for because you're not holding them accountable, right?
Absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
you'll keep on taking that on and it's going to show up everywhere in your life. And
Yeah.
yes, like Faria says right here, chaos.
Chaos. Yes.
Chaos,
Absolutely.
chaos, chaos.
Yeah.
And you're going to wonder where's your money, where's your clients, what's happening, and you're going to lose the show. Let's just
Yeah.
say you're going to lose everything, right?
You
Because
are.
in fact, you've lost yourself.
Yes.
You've lost yourself, right?
Yes.
So let's keep going. What's next on your list?
The next one is, always saying yes, and you smile even in pain, because
Ooh.
no one really wants to see or to hear your problems. So you smile even though you are in pain, because that's what people want to see. They want to see the smile all the time, irrespective of what you're going through. So
Hmm.
that is another very important one, for me especially.
Yeah, yeah. So let's talk more about that.
Yeah.
When we don't express ourselves and we're always put on a happy face and we're pretending. I remember as a child, my parents were actually really uncomfortable with my emotions. They
Yes.
didn't actually have an array of emotions that we were allowed to express because they didn't know how to deal with anything less than joy or happiness.
Yes.
Okay,
Absolutely.
they wanted us to be happy and joyful all the time. So if I was sad or I was crying or I was angry, it was actually labeled bad.
Yeah.
Like go wash your face and come back. And I believe this is the number one cause of mental health and physical diseases in our body. What do you think,
Yeah.
Shian?
I agree 100%, because I definitely came from a household where that was, the only emotion was that you needed to have strength, and you need to push through whatever it is going wrong. You can't, show any type of emotion. And it up until today, it still takes me a lot to get used to actually get to a point where I show emotion, because I would just bottle everything down, because, like I said, nobody wanted to see you cry, nobody wanted to see you sad. You had to have just one emotion, which was that happiness, and show that you were a strong person. My father was an extremely strong person, and I really always admired him for that strength, and I took that on, that I needed to be that way as well, and I needed to not show emotion. And I see now how important it is, for me to really show who I am. And I think, once I became a parent, I realized that what I was doing, my kids were modeling that behavior. And
Yeah, yeah,
I needed to change that quickly. I needed to
yeah.
change that quickly.
Life is messy.
Yeah.
Life
Yes,
is
it
not a perfect straight line and everyone is going to be peachy and things are not going to come up. And as a coach, if I am not comfortable with all my feelings, how will I hold a space for my client to express all of her feelings? How?
yeah, you
So I'm
won't be able to do
actually,
it.
by not expressing myself, I'm actually like a half a person,
Yes, absolutely. That's
right?
that's such a perfect description. You really actually feel like a half a person because you're not being true.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, you got any more on your list?
Let's see, what didn't I do?
Well, here's one I got.
Okay.
Okay, another one that people pleasers do is we blame ourselves
Yes.
for anything and everything that happens in our families, in our life, in business. We always make it be our fault.
Yes.
Can you relate to that?
I can, especially, especially in business, but also in family as well, because you feel like you're the person that needs to hold everything together. And you don't want to obviously upset anybody if they did something wrong, so you take that blame on yourself, and
Let's
you
talk
sort of
about the
just grow on it.
impacts. Let's talk about the long-term impacts of this.
I think you just never grow, Fatima, because of taking on everybody's, taking the blame for everything. You don't push yourself, to do anything, because you don't want to disappoint anybody. So you just taking on all everybody's blaming, and it's better for you to be able to take that. So for me, I would just be blend in the background, and if something goes wrong, okay, yes, I'll take the blame for it, and I'll allow other people to grow, but I would actually be stifling my own success, or my own growth, in the process.
Yeah, yeah. When we look at all of the things we mentioned and all of the people pleasing and how people are
Hmm.
not going to like you if you go
Yeah.
do big things, people are not going to like it, especially if you have been a people pleaser for your, let's say, a big chunk of your life.
Yes.
And
Yes.
now you're trying to break through and create something different, something new, something you haven't done before. I'm going to tell you what's going to happen. Okay? You're going to hear something like this. And
Yes.
you're going to hear this is what it's called. You've changed.
Oh, yes.
There's something different about you. You've changed. And I'm going to translate that for you from narcissistic language. Okay, if you hear you've changed from a narcissist or a person who attributes has those attributes, this is what it means. I can't control you anymore.
Absolutely.
You're not doing what you used to do. And then you're going to hear you used to be a nice person.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I've actually heard those things. Oh my gosh, it's so funny. I've absolutely heard those things before. And
Yeah,
the minute I took really paid attention to what a narcissist is like, and working with people who ticked every single block of how you would describe a narcissist, and that experience, I think, was the start of my awakening to this whole problem,
yeah,
to what I was allowing people to do.
exactly. And the only way through to get to the other side is to stay the course.
Yes.
To stay the course. Because if you don't stay your course and you don't fight for your dreams, you're going to get pulled back into the past, and their control is going to double
Yes,
and
absolutely,
triple and
absolutely. Yeah,
quadruple and 10x.
yeah,
Okay, because now they're going to say, haha, she couldn't even handle it. Now they're going to laugh at
absolutely,
you. Okay, all the naysayers are going to come out and laugh at you. The trick
absolutely.
is to hold on to your dream and never ever let go to get to the other side,
Yeah,
right? Because the same haters who don't like you are going to ask you if you're hiring.
that's true.
It happens to me all the time in my emails.
Yeah,
The same people that made fun of me are asking for jobs.
yeah. No, that's absolutely true. I mean, I know that that is true because I have had people when I left the one job that I was working for, which is probably the worst place that I could have worked for. That is exactly what this person, because they never thought that this would happen because I was such a people's pleaser that they never thought that I would survive outside because, I needed to always do that. So for me to be able to stand up and leave a job and go and start my own business was something that they just couldn't comprehend. And,
Exactly.
and then that they're like, oh my gosh, you're actually doing this. Can I come and work with you? So
See?
it happens. It happens.
Yeah, yeah. There's one last thing I'm going to bring up, and then we can wrap up this call.
Okay.
And the last thing I want to bring up, sorry, my nose is itchy here. The last one I want to bring up is you had already mentioned the word no
Yeah.
and how people pleasers have a really, really hard time saying no. And I want to just think about this, like, what would it look like if no is a complete sentence? You don't have
Wow.
to add anything to it, say anything about it. And what if I could teach you, Shyam, myself, and our team on how to use no as a complete sentence without the guilt, without the pain, without the remorse, and how you could learn how to say no as a complete sentence? What do you think, Shyam?
I completely believe that because having gone through that transformation myself, Fatima, I think I told you not too long ago, someone had asked me, a ex-colleague of mine had asked me if I could come and help out. And this is where I
Yes,
had like the worst of my time.
yes,
And they asked me, can you come and help out? And the first thing I said was, sorry, I'm not available.
yeah,
And
yeah.
it was the proudest moment of my life because that was, previously the hardest thing for me to do, to say no to someone when I know that they needed me, but I wasn't comfortable to accept that. And so that was to me like, I've reached that point now. I finally reached that point where
You did
this
it.
was my new you. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, you absolutely did it. And, we are more proud of you than you are proud of yourself because we've seen the transformation from
Yes.
our side, our side.
Yeah.
So let's wrap up this call. And, I want to give everyone an opportunity. We have a really, really, really special offer. And before I even tell you about the offer, you need to really just start screaming that you want this. Okay. You need to just be like, pick me, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And be like really, really amazing and say, okay, I can't wait because these spots are not going to last at all. Okay.
Yeah.
So, Shiam, do you want to tell everyone what we're doing here? We're looking for some women.
So, yeah, we're looking for 5 women, who are phenomenal women in business, and we want to speak to you. If you want to get on a call with us, we'll have a conversation, and you could stand a chance of getting, one of the 5 digital copies of Fatima's book called Million Stars, which is phenomenal. So, yes, only 5 spots, so
There are
it
only
is
five
going quickly.
spots.
Yeah,
And we will be having a conversation with you to see if you're a good fit and you're a
yes,
serious, ambitious woman who wants to like break the ceiling and create an extraordinary year because we're like, I don't know, 82
oh my
days
gosh,
before
yeah.
January the 1st. Here's the book, Million Stars, Changing Lives, Finding Freedom, and Building Personal Power. It's a bestseller. You definitely want this book. Okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter whether you're watching this on the replay or you're watching this live. You want to be like, book me, pick me, say anything you want. And what we're going to do is we're going to slide in your DMs. We're
Yeah.
going to have a conversation with you and to be able to really see if this is a good, I mean, if it's not a good fit, then you don't need this book. I mean, nobody
Yeah.
needs something just to sit in your digital folder. Honestly, don't you
Absolutely.
have enough stuff? We are looking for women who are going to use it, going to make a
Yeah.
difference in their lives, who are ambitious and courageous and brave, who won't take no for an answer from themselves or anybody,
Absolutely.
right? And just be like, I want this. I'm tired of playing small. I used to be a people pleaser. I am
Yeah.
so done with that. And
Yes.
show me the way. Show me the way. Shiam, tell us what you have to say about that.
Absolutely. This book is such a phenomenal way to really set yourself up so powerfully. And I, want to encourage you, get onto a conversation with us. This is really something that's going to set your 2022 to amazing heights. And use the word no in your favor, and not have it be something that stops you from moving forward. So you be the one that says no when it suits you, and not be the one on the receiving end of that. So
I love
really
that.
just take the opportunity.
That's the best way we can wrap up the call. Say
Yeah.
no to everything that no longer serves you.
Absolutely.
Okay, and say yes to you. Say yes to your dreams. Say yes to
Yeah.
your future. Say yes to you being the first millionaire in your family. It's
Yes.
time.
It's
It's
time.
really, really, really time. And, there's no time like now. So that's what we
Absolutely.
got for you. Thank you, Shiam, our director of
My
sales, for coming
pleasure.
on your awesome time and having this fabulous conversation with me. I love you all. Have a beautiful, beautiful week. Anything you need, just reach out to us. We're here. And make sure you say, pick me, pick me. Okay? That's what you should be doing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure. Bye bye, everybody.
Bye bye.